This is Mr. Martin. These are the video notes for Geometry Honors, section 12.4. We're moving into volume. We just did surface area, and we're going to move on to volume. So we're going to look at the volume of prisms and cylinders in this section. So when we're talking about the volume of prisms and cylinders, any prism or cylinder, it's going to use the same formula for the volume. So the volume of any prism or cylinder is just going to be the area of the base times the height, or most of the time I'll just write it as V is equal to capital B times H. And then the thing that you need to keep in mind is that this area of the base, this formula is going to change depending on what the shape of the base is. So for the first example, what we're going to do is we're going to name the shape of the base for each figure and write the formula used to find the area of each base. So I have these written out already, so if you want to go ahead and try these on your own first, and then you can make some corrections if you need to, now would be a good time to pause the video and then go ahead and see if you can write the names and the formulas for these 5 prisms, and also write the formula that you would use to find the area of the base. So go ahead and pause now if you want to. Otherwise, we'll go through those now. Alright, so our first 3 here. The first one, we've got our rectangular prism. So with a rectangular prism, really, we could use any of the opposite sides as the bases. Normally, we just assume that the top and the bottoms would be the bases, so we would have that as one base and that as the other base. So that would be our rectangular prism. Since the base is a rectangle, the area of the base, again, capital B will be used for area of the base, is just going to be length times width. For the second figure, we have, notice the tick marks that I've added there. So this is an equilateral triangle. We could call it a regular triangle if we wanted to. So we could call this a regular triangular prism. And the area of the base, since it's an equilateral triangle, we can use s squared root 3 over 4. The third figure, we've got a regular pentagon. So there's no information in there that indicates that it's regular, but you would be given that. And for this example, I'm just letting you know that it's regular. So that's a regular pentagonal prism. And to find the area of a regular pentagon, the area of that base is going to be 1/2 apothem times perimeter. And then moving on to the last 2, again, we have regular polygon bases. So the first one is a regular heptagonal prism. So again, that area of the base is 1/2 AP. And the last one, even though it's kind of on a slant here, we're still going to use the same formula. When we go to find the volume, we would have to find this height though. Okay? So the area of the base is still going to be 1/2 AP, but notice that this is a non-right prism because the center of the base on the top is not directly above the center of the base on the bottom. But the formula works the same. So moving on to a couple of examples. And again, if you want to try these examples on your own, feel free to pause the video and work through them on your own. So notice in the directions here it says find the volume and surface area for each figure. So we're going to do 2 things for each. And remember, for a prism, the bases are the parallel and congruent faces. So we're looking at these 2 triangles as the bases. So this one's kind of on its side, on one of its side. And notice the right angle marker here. So these are going to be right triangles. And because we're going to need it later, let's go ahead and find the hypotenuse. If I divide these by 3, that would be a 3. That would be a 4. So we know that this has to be a 3, 4, 5 triple times 3, which means that the hypotenuse is equal to 15. So we'll use that later. Alright, so first finding the volume. The volume is going to be, again, the area of the base times the height. And then B, since it's a triangle, is going to be 1/2 little b, so that's the base of the triangle, not the big B, which was the area of the base, times h, and this is going to be the height of the triangle, not to be confused with the height of the prism. Alright, so the area of the base is going to be 1/2 9 times 12, and then the height of the prism is 18, and that gives us 972, and our units for volume are going to be centimeters cubed. So then our surface area is going to be 2 times the area of the base, because we have a base on the left and a base on the right, plus the lateral surface, which we talked about, is the shortcut for that is to do the perimeter of the base times the height. So we're going to have 2 times 1/2 times 9 times 12. That's the area of the base. And then plus the perimeter is going to be 9 plus 12 plus 15 times the height, which again is 18. And if you calculate that out, it should come out to 756. And our units for surface area is going to be centimeters squared. Alright, so we have the volume, and we have the total surface area. Moving on to the next example. Again, if you want to pause it, feel free. So we're going to find the volume and the surface area. So the volume, again, is going to be area of the base times the height. And in this case, the area of the base is going to be pi r squared, because it's a circle. So this volume is going to be pi times 10 squared times the height of the cylinder, which is 14. And that gives us 1400 pi. Our units are inches, so that's inches cubed. So here's our volume. And then our surface area. So again, we have a top and a bottom, so it's going to be 2 times the area of the base plus the lateral surface area of a cylinder, which is circumference, 2 pi r times the height. So then I have 2 times pi times 10 squared plus 2 pi times 10 times 14. 10 times 14. So this is 200 pi, and this is 280 pi, for a total of 480 pi inches squared for our surface area. Alright, so if you have any questions, make sure you write them down and ask them. If you're watching the video in class, go ahead and pause and feel free to ask me as you go along. And we will see you in the next video.